Hey, welcome to my channel and to another meal prep. Now this week I had 2 new recipes from 2 different websites. And you know when you try new recipes, it is a shot in the dark. Is it going to be good? Is it not going to be good? Well, this week they're both good, but they both need a tweak. And I've already filmed that part at the end, so I tell you what I would tweak. 1 sugar, 1 salt. They desperately need it. Both of them desperately need it. Good recipes otherwise. What I will do is for breakfast, let me tell you, zucchini bread, baked oatmeal, and then lunch Asian noodle salad. And I did tweak that one a little extra, you'll see in the video. But I will link directly to the website where I got them and just make the notes of what I did change or would change in the recipe. Also, now that I'm on Weight Watchers Personal Points, I will put a link to the recipe in my app. So if you are also on Weight Watchers, you can click that link and it will pull up your personal points on your app. Make sure the ingredients are the same. I don't know, there could be a brand difference, a little, maybe the chili sauce is different. I don't know. You make sure it's the same ingredients to get the same points. But at the very least, it will give you a very close idea of what your points would be. The noodle salad is high. I already had planned, which I get a lot of points. So for me, for lunch, 10 points is not high for me. I don't have whole wheat pasta as a 0-point food. It would take it down considerably if I did, because the rest of it, well, the dressing's got a few things in it that I didn't change. So you can take the points, you know, for what they are. Well, like I said, that's new to get used to. If you have whole wheat pasta as a 0, then it'll reflect that when you pull it up. So anyway, but it's high for me because I had this menu planned before I ever pulled that trigger and went to Weight Watchers. So I probably would have picked a lower point lunch, but like I said, I get a lot of points, so I think I'll be okay. All right. Well, that is it that we're going to talk about right now. We will turn around and get started cooking. We're going to start with our zucchini bread baked oatmeal. In a large bowl, I have 2 cups of old-fashioned oatmeal. To that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking powder, 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we'll just kind of mix that around a little bit. Now for our wet ingredients, we have 2 cups of almond milk, a 1/4 cup of, I'm using the Mrs. Butterworth sugar-free recipe, calls for pure maple syrup, but I use sugar-free in pretty much everything. So that's why I'm substituting that. And then 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Oops, I almost forgot. I happened to look over my side there. 1 egg. We're going to mix this together. This one is definitely soupier than other ones that I've made, but it bakes a while, so I'm sure it's going to firm up. Now, we want to add a 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts, but we only want to add half to the batter. Close enough. We'll restir that in a minute. Now, we need 1½ cups of grated zucchini. This is the size I'm using for reference, and I'm not sure how much yield you get from a zucchini when you shred it, but I will show you how big it is now and shred it, get my 1½ cups, and come back and show you how much is left so you can kind of gauge what size to buy yourself. Okay, so this is how much, in both hands you can see how much I had left. So pretty much a small-ish zucchini would work. So then we want to put our 1½ cups of zucchini in. Give it a good little stir. You can see that oatmeal is already starting to soak up that milk. Now we want to pour this in a greased square baking dish. This is going to bake at 375 for like 40 minutes. I'm about to forget a step. Hold on. Let's kind of get that even in there if we can. Here's where you could skip this step if you wanted to save points or calories or whatever it is you're counting. But the other half we're going to sprinkle on top. We'll bake at, okay, as I was saying, this will bake at 375 for 40 minutes. Oatmeal has cooled. Now, if you wanted to make this 4 really big servings, you could do that. I wanted to keep the points down, so I'm making it 6. I'm going to have 1 for breakfast this morning. I'm going to save 1 out for David. And then I will have 4 for the week. Okay, let's see if we can get 1 out. Oh, it's a very moist oatmeal. Can you see that? Does it glisten on camera? It's done, but it's very moist. So what I'm going to do is to separate. Oh, I left part of it in the, that's how moist it is. I left part of it in the, and it's been cooling for probably a good half hour. I won't cover it until it's completely cool. But I'm going to just store all of it in one. That way I will just have 1 dish in my refrigerator. First thing we want to do for our Asian noodle salad is ball our noodles. This is thin spaghetti, whole wheat. I know you know how to boil noodles. I just want to show you my easiest way I have found to weigh it. Tear out your scales, get your cup on 0, and then just add your spaghetti in there. I used to try to do it in a bowl, and you know how it rolls everywhere, so this is the easiest way I found. Now you want to boil this, recipe says to al dente. I like my pasta done, so you boil it to the point that you like. As per usual, I was just talking away and did not have the camera running. So what we've done already, 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Y'all know I like avocado, and we're just doing this while the noodles are boiling. You probably hear them on the side. But I'm going to follow the recipe. 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. It's rice vinegar, not seasoned, just plain rice vinegar. 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. And then we were up to the honey part. Now I had to microwave my honey because it had crystallized, and it's just fine like that. I don't know what causes it, but it's fine to microwave it and bring it back up, and then if it crystallizes, you just keep doing it. I've done it over the years and I've never had a issue. So we need 3 tablespoons of that. The recipe calls for sriracha. I don't have sriracha. I just have sweet chili sauce, so I'm just taking a shot in the dark that it's going to work. 1 tablespoon. 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, and I'm just going to eyeball it. I like to use this kind because it's just so much easier. Okay, well, that's a little bit more, but close enough. Now we'll measure this ginger because you can go overboard with ginger, and I just use this ginger in the tube, a tablespoon of it. Now we need 3 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter, and what I'm going to do is spray my spoon with some cooking spray to help it come out a little bit easier. Now we just need to whisk this until this peanut butter is dissolved and set it aside until we assemble the salad. Now the recipe says drain and rinse your noodles, which I did, and they're already in a large bowl, and you're just supposed to add 2 bags, 24 ounces total of broccoli slaw, 4 ounces of shredded carrots. weigh your carrots before you shred them, and then you don't have to fool with trying to figure out how much you need. I don't think, personally, I would like it raw. So this is just my step that I am hoping will work. I just put my same pot back on the burner, added just a touch of oil in there, and I'm just going to wilt these vegetables down. Now you can leave them raw, like the recipe says, or we'll see how well my way works. I could be messing up, I don't know. We'll find out. So I'm going to wilt these down. While I'm waiting on the vegetables to cool, we're going to clean our cilantro. This is something I have shown numerous times on my channel. So if you've seen it, you can fast forward. It won't take but a second. But there's always somebody new on your channel. So I like to share it because it was a game changer for me. Take your cilantro or parsley, keep it in the bundle. Just get a regular old fork and start raking through the leaves. Now you'll get a few stems, but you will not have to stand here and pick leaf by leaf by leaf. So just hold it down here while you're doing that. We need a 1/4 cup of finely chopped cilantro. I'll finish cleaning that, but there you have it. How quick and easy you have the leaves stripped off your cilantro plant. You should be able to see the difference. There's still just a little bit of texture to it, a little bit of, I don't know if it's crunch, but there's still some texture to it. I didn't wilt it completely soft. You can see it's still kind of hot, but we want to mix that in with our noodles. Okay, this is harder than you might think. So what I'm hoping is once we pour over the sauce, it might make it a little easier to mix. So that's all we need to do is to pour on our sauce. Let's see if that helps any. Alright, if you don't have an arm muscle before you start this recipe, you're going to after. Now we need 4 ounces of roughly chopped peanuts. This is the little chopper I use. It's linked in my Amazon store. Whether you buy it off of my link or not, I will get about that much money off of it. This is one of the handiest tools I have in my kitchen. This is 4 ounces. You can adjust it if you want to adjust your points. That would be up to you. And then I need 3/4 cup of finely chopped cilantro. It would have taken pretty much the whole bunch, but I need a 1/4 cup for a recipe tonight. So that's why it's just a slight 3/4 of a cup. Now, if you don't like cilantro, like Roy over at Recipes with Roy, that's the recipe I'm making tonight, by the way, his light Mexican street corn. He uses parsley because him and Paul do not like cilantro. I happen to love cilantro, so you can substitute if you want to. Now all we got to do is mix this in really, really well. This makes a generous 8 servings. I knew when I bought the ingredients it was going to make a lot. I don't need 8 servings, so I'm going to cut it in half, give half to RJ. He'll be by tonight with Sebastian, so that will be perfect. He'll be here to get it, and then they'll have them a little something to eat when they get home. All right, here's what I made this week. Let me tell you about this. I tasted it. It is 100% not sweet enough. The syrup was not enough to make this even the least little bit sweet. Now, I serve my baked oatmeals with syrup, so that's going to help. But if I made this again, and I'm going to put the notes on my website. I will just link this recipe for you to follow because I followed it. And I will put the notes of what I would change. I would add at least a half a cup of sweetener. What I would do is I would add it and I would taste the batter, which is probably what I should have done to begin with, but I was following the recipe. Now you can make the judgment call. If you don't want it to have any flavor, I hate to sound that way, but I'm not going to lie to you, then leave the sweetener out. and just use syrup. But if you need some sweet oatmeal, add sugar to it, whichever kind you want, real or artificial, or substitute, or just serve it with syrup, however you want to do it. So that is the verdict on the oatmeal. I will still eat it. It will be good with syrup. That's just what I would change. There's one thing I would change about the noodles. It's got a good flavor, but it needs salt. There was no salt in the recipe, and I'm thinking the soy sauce would be enough, but it really is not. I will salt this at the table. What I would do is I would make sure, and I didn't salt my pasta water, which I always do, but since it didn't call for extra salt, I didn't want to, because I wasn't sure. I've never made a dressing like that before. I've never had a peanut dressing ever in my whole entire life, so that's new to me. But this definitely needs salt, and I will reflect that on my website as well when I link these. All right, so that is what we're having this week: zucchini bread, baked oatmeal, and Asian noodle salad. I hope you're having a good weekend, and I will see you on my next video.